record, and then here we go with broadcast, and I'll introduce Dick, and away we go. Good evening and welcome to the Cancer Education Series brought to you by Above and Beyond Cancer. I'm Chris Goodale, the Executive Director. This evening's program is brought to you in part by the Holmes Murphy Foundation. And it's again my pleasure to introduce our founder, Dr. Dick Deming. Dick?
Great. Hey, hi everybody. It's thank you for joining us. Those of you who are joining us in real time, and some of you will be watching this recorded because this session is being recorded and will be housed on our website. Fun lecture tonight. I met Courtney Ihnen. Courtney, is that correct? Ihnen? Is that
Ihnen.
Ihnen. Ihnen. Yep. So Courtney Ihnen, she and I met at the state capitol. Actually, she reminds me that we actually met a few years ago at the Des Moines Choral Society, where I happened to have been roped into being a fundraiser singer, celebrity singer. And then we met at the Capitol, where we were both up there advocating for public policy change. Courtney is a music therapist. She grew up here in Des Moines, went to Valley High School, and she went to Wartburg College, where she majored in music therapy along with music education. And she's back here in Des Moines. She's working as a music educator at Hannawall Elementary School, but is also doing music therapy. And she's going to talk about what is music therapy, who can benefit from music therapy, and hopefully we'll be able to collaborate after this and help provide music therapy as part of our cancer survivorship program. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Courtney.
Thank you, Chris and Dr. Deming. It is my honor to be here this evening to talk to you about music therapy. And so I'm going to start sharing my screen, and I'm going to get up a quick PowerPoint for you to follow along with as I am speaking. The title of my presentation tonight is, So What is Music Therapy? The first thing I would like to do is I would like to start off with a quick song. Wherever you are and however you would like to participate, I would like for you to join in with me. The first song is called Music Time, and it goes like this. It's music time, music time, music time right now. It's music time, everybody show me how to stomp your feet, stomp your feet, stomp your feet right now. Stomp your feet, there you go, stomp your feet right now. Click your tongue right now. Click your tongue right now. Now blink your eyes right now. Blink your eyes, everybody show me how. Now snap your fingers right now. Clap your hands right now. Stand up and jump right now. Stand up and jump and sit back down right now. Thank you for following along with me on that first welcome. What I would like to move into next is I would like to get everyone involved. At the bottom of the screen, there are two options to participate. There's a question and answer area, and there's also a chat. I would first like you to click on that chat button, and I would like to do a quick game. The first game is name this person. Who is this? In your chat, I would like for you to write down who this is. I'll give you a little more time. This is an American singer-songwriter, if that helps. See some action? Okay, the answer is Ben Folds. Ben Folds, like I said, is an American singer and songwriter. He's not a music therapist, but he realizes the heavy science and research that goes into music therapy and has actually attended a music therapy conference and went to sessions like the improv and songwriting sessions because he realizes how music therapy works with the brain and with the body. The next person I would like for you to guess is this person. This is the same person. In the chat below, I would like for you to guess who you think this is. Could add a little Jeopardy music. Do, 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 do. Best guesses? The answer is Arizona Representative Gabrielle Giffords. Gabrielle Giffords survived an assassination attempt back in 2011. She was shot at point blank range on the left side of her body, affecting part of her frontal and temporal lobe. When she was undergoing treatment in Houston, Texas, she went through music therapy sessions. Her music therapist used an intervention called melodic intonation therapy, which really worked on melody and rhythm to help her find certain types of language in other parts of her brain other than where language is normally stored. And so she is a huge advocate for music therapy. Right now, I would like for you to also participate in this next portion. A very easy and simple song many people know is Happy Birthday. The first time I sing and play it, I would like for you just to sit and listen. The second time, I'm going to have you involved a little bit. The first thing is just listening so far. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear MercyOne. Happy birthday to you. Now, each time I sing the song again, I would like for you to add in either speaking or singing the word you. Only that word. I'll sing the other parts, you add in the word you. Happy birthday to, happy birthday to, happy birthday, dear MercyOne. Happy birthday to. By adding in the word you, not only were you using your frontal lobe and your temporal lobe where that language is associated, but also by either singing or listening to music, different parts of your brain are firing all over the place to wire and to get all that information where it needs to go. That is a little close to something that Gabrielle Giffords, music therapist, was working on, where she was trying to go to other parts of Gabrielle's mind to find simple songs and songs that she knew that were so edged into her brain in different parts that they were able to go and find that language that she needed in different parts of her brain to give her back the ability of speech. A little about myself, like Dr. Deming said, I'm originally from West Des Moines, Iowa. I went to Wartburg College and I completed an internship up in Richfield, Minnesota. I worked at the Fraser School. I've been a music therapist and a music educator since 2012, and I recently acquired a master's degree from Drake University in culturally responsive leadership and instruction. I met Dr. Deming through the Des Moines Choral Society, which I currently sing in, and I'm a tortoise mom to Minerva. Now you know 3 people that are music advocates and 1 music therapist. Now I think it's time to move on to who are music therapists. Music therapists go under extensive education, and part of that is you need a bachelor's degree or higher from one of the 80 approved schools in music therapy. Most of the study of music therapy focuses on psychology, biology, and music. After that degree, you then need to do 1,200 hours of an internship or clinical training. I did mine in Richfield, like I said, Minnesota, and I worked with young children, and I specialize and work specifically with students with autism and cerebral palsy and Down syndrome and behavior disorders. After you complete those two things, then every music therapist sits for a national board exam. This is to obtain the credentials MTBC, which stands for Music Therapist Board Certified. There is a separate organization that gives the test and then is able to give those credentials, and that's called CBMT, which is a Certification Board for Music Therapists. When you acquire that distinction of MTBC, you need to then continue your education. You need 100 continuing education credits every 5 years. If you don't get that, then you need to actually take the national board exam again to recertify. However, if you do get the continuing education credits, then you continue to hold that distinction. On the AMTA website, which is American Music Therapy Association, and the CBMT, which is the Certification Board for Music Therapists, both sites house an extensive list of music therapists. So if you're looking for a music therapist in your state or your area, you can go to either one of those sites and click in your state, and it will show you all the music therapists that are in your area that are board certified. Along with music therapy, there are other little distinctions underneath that degree. There are 4 main ones that I want to talk about quickly. Under the music therapist, MTBC, you can either focus on behavioral, Nordoff-Robbins, neurologic, or Bethod-Mani of guided imagery. These things focus on different parts of music therapy. Behavioral and Nordoff-Robbins is more used with younger children. It focuses on the psychology and the physical part of music therapy. Neurologic, or NMT, which is neurologic music therapy, works on that sensory motor, and they use a lot of MRI scans and the things that are going on that they can see in the brain. And the Bani method of guided imagery, or GIM, uses music listening to deeply relax the person, to stimulate and imagery and memories and feelings. And this is normally used with people that are experiencing or have gone through trauma, to bring up those feelings, to give them an outlet to talk about those things. So, what is music therapy? We've understood what a music therapist is. What is music therapy? The American Music Therapy Association says that music therapy is the clinical and evidence-based use of music interventions to accomplish an individualized goal within a therapeutic relationship by a credentialed music professional who has completed an approved music therapy program. It goes on to then talk about different areas and different things that a music therapist could do, but that is the gist of what a music therapist does. I like to keep in mind that there are 3 things that you need to know. A simple equation to figure out if it's music therapy or not is, number 1, is there a board certified music therapist? Have they gone through their training? Have they sat for the national board exam and passed it? Number 2, is there a client in need? Does the client actually need something? And number 3 is, what is the goal or area of concern? If you have those 3 things, then most likely it is music therapy. On the screen, I put 2 different sides of information. Things that are therapeutic music, or things that can feel good and that are quality things. And then I put clinical music therapy. What is actually music therapy? One of the ideas is nurses playing background music for patients. That's nice, and that is great. However, that is not music therapy. The difference is a music therapist working with a child who has autism to improve communication abilities. Once again, we're talking about the music therapist, a child who has autism, a client in need, and then the area or goal of concern, improving communication abilities. Those 3 things now make it music therapy. If you're talking about therapeutic music, a nurse playing background music for a patient, you don't have a music therapist, and you have a client possibly in need, but you're not sure, and we don't exactly know what the goal is. Another idea is groups such as bedside musicians. Those are very amazing individuals. However, they are not music therapists, and we're not sure what the goal is. That's different than a music therapist working with a patient who is hospitalized to reduce pain. We know it's a music therapist. We know that this patient is hospitalized, person in need, and we're trying to reduce pain. Those three things make it different. Some of you may be wondering, so what does a music therapist do then? There are different interventions, and it depends on the population and it depends on the area that the music therapist is working in. But some general interventions that I can tell you about right now are music improvisation, getting the person involved with music so that those things are firing all across their brain. Receptive music for listening or relaxation. One of the most interesting things I know of is called the ISO principle in music therapy. The ISO principle is when a music therapist uses music where they connect with the patient's mood, exactly where they are, and then they use music by either changing the tempo or the feeling or by changing different songs to change that person's mood. By using music. They use music as the intervention to change that person's mood. It's called the ISO principle. It's really neat. Songwriting to express is another intervention. Lyric discussion, music as imagery, like GAM, like I mentioned before. Music performances with a specific goal, and then musical mnemonics. I use musical mnemonics a lot with my clients. A musical mnemonic I use sometimes with a child or a student that has autism. When they need to stop, I use a hand sign and I say, S-T-O-P, stop, stop, stop. S-T-O-P, stop, stop, stop. S-T-O-P. Did you start to hear it in your brain? That's exactly what we're working on. A musical mnemonic that can help that person live their everyday life, but will start changing and acquiring those goals that they need. Another musical mnemonic is using sign language and singing, please wait, wait, wait. Using these musical mnemonics so many times that it actually goes into and imprints in that person's brain, and then they're able to use those things themselves, maybe not in a music therapy session always. At this moment, before we move on too much longer, I would like to invite Chris back to see if we have any questions. So I'll stick right here.
So far, I don't see any questions.
Okay, thanks, Chris. All right, and I will move right along. After talking about what music therapy is, continuing in that process, just like other therapeutic jobs, there is an assessment and a treatment process, always. Music therapists do an initial assessment focusing on the client's strengths and needs. Some of those things that I have focused on before are gross and fine motor skills. When we were doing that beginning song, at the beginning I asked for you to stomp, I asked for you to snap. Normally I'm watching and seeing, are they able to do those things? Is that a struggle? Is that easy for them? Is that a strength? All of those things are part of these assessments. Receptive communication, like are they turning their head to the source of where I'm speaking? Are they looking? Are they opening their eyes? Expressive language, are they able to hum, sing, use sign language, talk, or just babble? And then that leads into a treatment plan that the music therapist creates using those music therapy interventions, ongoing evaluation and follow-up and feedback, and then possible termination once that goal is met, or continuing therapeutic treatment with a new goal. Some areas, specifically in Iowa that I know of, that clients are served in are residential care facilities, hospitals, nursing homes, hospice, and schools. There is a great list of areas that people are served music therapy in the state of Iowa. And populations that are served in Iowa are people that are living with Alzheimer's and dementia, at-risk youth, people that are on the autism spectrum, behavioral disorders, cancer. All of these things can go along with music therapy. So why music therapy? Why not something else? Excuse my elementary brain here that I have showing, but I believe that this can show you the most. Where we're talking about music, we're talking about live music making that stimulates and affects all different parts of the brain. When you are going through music therapy and you're highly engaged and you are participating, not just listening, not just enjoying or relaxing, but you are participating and going along and going towards a goal, you are stimulating all different types of your brain. In music therapy, when you're in a session, you are seeing it, hearing it, and feeling it. When you're seeing it, that is connecting to the occipital lobe. And when you're hearing it, that is connecting with the temporal lobe, where you are working on auditory sound and hearing and memory. And then when you are feeling it, when you are either playing an instrument or you're feeling those vibrations, that's so many different parts of the brain, either the parietal lobe or the frontal lobe, where that affects your motor system, your speech, your touch, your feeling, all of those things. You have different parts of your brain that are firing all the time. And music therapists manipulate all those different music techniques, such as tempo and volume and pitch and rhythm, to give the patient and their brain the ways to fire and to possibly rewire if they need it. Right now, I would like to go back into another song that's called Come On Everybody Play Your Drum, and I would like for you to feel and see how I can use some of those different musical elements to change how you are participating. So please, wherever you are, as much as you can, join in with me. This is called Come On Everybody Play Your Drum, maybe on your lap or on a table using your hand, whatever you would like to use. Come on, everybody, play your drum. Come on, everybody, play your drum. Come on, everybody, cause we're gonna have a party. Come on, everybody, play your drum. Come on, everybody, play real soft. Come on, everybody, play real soft. Come on, everybody, cause we're gonna have a party. Come on, everybody, play real soft. Keep going as soft as you can. Come on, everybody, play real fast. Keep going. Come on, everybody, play real fast. As fast as you can go. Come on, everybody, cause we're gonna have a party. Come on, everybody, play your drum. Come on, everybody, play real slow. Feel how slow you can go. That's it. Come on, everybody, play real slow. Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody, play real slow. Now, scratch. Come on, everybody, scratch your drum. Come on, everybody, scratch your drum. Feel that vibration. Come on, everybody, play your drum. Come on, everybody, play real loud. Come on, everybody, play real loud. Come on, everybody, cause we're gonna have a party. Come on, everybody, play real loud. All right, you can relax. Thank you for participating as much as you could. Using those different elements like volume, speed, tempo, rhythm, we can change how people feel. And that is just really unique to the occupation of music therapy. Moving on specifically to the hospital and oncology or cancer focus, music therapy can be used in hospitals to alleviate pain, elevate mood, calm, induce sleep, reduce apprehension, and lessen muscle tension. Some of the ways and things they can do specifically for people that are going through cancer treatments or in the oncology unit is music therapists can help you socialize. Many times it can be lonely for all the time that you are going through your treatments. They can also help you emotionally process. After doing treatments for a while, maybe they'll use an intervention like songwriting. Songwriting can give you that outlet to talk about all the feelings that you have been feeling going through that treatment, either with your family or doing it alone, or how you're feeling going into those treatments or after your treatments. Music therapy can also help with symptom management and pain management during or after treatments. An intervention they can use is called gate control theory of pain. Essentially, the gate control theory of pain talks about a non-painful input causing those gates to actually close before that pain gets to that nervous system. If there's a negative stimuli happening, the brain is going to focus on that the most. If you introduce a positive stimuli like music or music as a distraction, that will actually close the gate before that negative stimuli can get to the nervous system, and it focuses, and the brain focuses more on that positive stimuli. However, music is not always meant for everyone. Music therapy is not appropriate for everyone. And that is why an assessment is always done by a music therapist. Sometimes music can elevate someone when they don't need it, or it cannot be pleasing for some people, and that's okay. It is not a cure-all, but it can make lives better. I would like to point out MercyOne is incredible in their cancer work, in their cancer series. Another great institution is the University of Miami. Their health system and their specific cancer center is called Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center, excuse me. It's in Miami, Florida. And they have a music therapist there that will do one-on-ones and group sessions for their people in their cancer center. But then she also realized that once people left or are after that cancer center, she wants them to still be connected. So she has created something called a Survivorship Choir. This Survivorship Choir is led by the music therapist. It has a very specific goal, and the choir is open to patients, survivors, caregivers, staff, and anyone who's a cancer ally. I do have a video. It won't work very well on Zoom, so I suggest that you go to the Sylvester Cancer Center website and find the Music Therapy Survivorship Choir and watch the video. It is truly inspiring. As I've mentioned, the American Music Therapy Association supports music for all and applauds everyone who shares their music making abilities. We say the more music, the better. However, I hope after today you've realized that music therapy is the only clinical profession that is research-based and that is actively supporting science in the creative and emotional and energizing experiences by a trained music therapy professional. Thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you have a great rest of your time. If you would like to ask any questions, now will be the time.
Courtney, I'll jump in. I'm curious how many, and maybe you don't, maybe you know, and maybe you don't, but how many music therapists would there be in the Des Moines area who are active?
Right, that's a really interesting question because there are some companies that are statewide and there are some companies that are national. So they actually have some, maybe the headquarters is in another state, but they have some music therapists here, but then there are local music therapists. It's hard to give an exact number because things are always changing, but I do know of at least 3 companies in the Des Moines metro area, people that are servicing people here, companies, and then I know of a handful of people that are doing a private practice music therapy around the metro, in the suburbs, and other places like that.
And are they generally connected specifically to a hospital, or to what kind of medical unit would they be connected?
The companies service a wide range of different populations. I know some of the companies that are in the Des Moines metro are Music Speaks, and then another company is West Music. And those companies bring the therapists that specialize in the specific area that you're looking for. So if you're looking for a music therapist for MercyOne Medical Center, they would find the right therapist for you for that center.
Okay. We have a question. What instruments are used in music therapy treatments?
That is a great question. Many, many instruments can be used. As a music therapist myself, my voice is my main instrument. I use guitar and piano as secondary instruments. And then normally in a session when I'm working with somebody, it depends on their ability and their skill. If they're able to hold different types of instruments, I'll use different types of instruments. I've had clients in the past that some shaking instruments are elevating to them and it doesn't work for them. So we exit out no shaking instruments, but things that are ringing are just fine. So using ringing instruments versus shaking instrument, it all depends on the assessment that's done and the client.
And about how long are the sessions? Are they 20 minutes, a half hour?
It also depends on the client, how long they are able to last. It's a lot of stimulation happening in your brain, happening in your body. So sometimes it can be 20 to 30 minutes. I would say maybe 45 minutes max for some music therapy sessions.
Okay. Another question.
Courtney,
Go ahead, Dick.
This is Dick. A couple of questions, and this would be like pertaining specifically to cancer patients, cancer survivorship. So I do understand the exact or the role that music therapy would play. For example, someone with a brain injury with some speech issues and expressive aphasia and that. And my question would be, when you got your degree in studying, are there specific techniques you might use, like to instill acceptance, to deal with connecting to a higher purpose? Obviously, other things would be mood changes, people who might have feeling kind of depressed and to bring joy. But what are the other specific types of plans that you might develop for a patient who is either going through cancer or has been through cancer, who is maybe anxious about am I cured or not, or for patients who are living with incurable cancer? Each of those are sort of different scenarios.
Yes. And that is just exactly diving into music therapy, and I love it. What comes to mind right now, if I was working with patients that were going through treatment or at the beginning, that were starting to work and starting to have all of these feelings, I think I would dive into a songwriting intervention, where I can listen to exactly how they feel and kind of start giving them some of the words to put to some of those emotions, creating a song for themselves, and then figuring out how they want to use that song. Do they want that song for themselves to sing right before they go to a treatment? Do they want to share it with their families so the family starts understanding exactly where they are? Do they want to just keep it to themselves? Maybe for expressing, giving that outlet. I think that was one of your first questions, is how do they have that outlet? I would start with that intervention. And then if you're in long-term treatment, that lyric discussion, where you're diving into things, songs or music that touches the person in a very specific way, where they said, this one's always got me. And you dive into that lyric discussion and figure out, well, why does it connect to you? What can you do with it? And then you start making it then your own, or then you transfer that into their own performance for themselves, and something that can work for them, because every session and every client is different. And so it's important that the goal is specific to that person. And I would be happy to have some other music therapists come and talk about that as well.
Great, thanks. And I love the idea of a cancer survivorship choir. I mean, obviously, as you've demonstrated today, just the act of singing just provides so much joy to people. And to be able to do it in a very non-threatening way, where you're not being judged on, you know, your pitch and your volume. And I mean, you want to work on that and you want to be pleasant, but I think there are people who love to sing, but would feel intimidated to try to join a community choir because even though they may be welcomed into it, they think that maybe the goal of something like that is higher quality performance than they think they might be able to deliver.
Right, and that's why I love that she not only calls it a survivor, but a survivorship choir. That is just, and the music therapist that started that survivorship choir is actually a cancer survivor herself that then went on to get her music therapy license and then start that. Very incredible.
Oh, that's great. Courtney, we had another couple of questions. One was, would Medicare cover any cost of music therapy or insurance maybe in general?
Right now, it is not directly covered, but I know that specific medical professions can tag it or label it a different way where then it can be funded. So right now, it's really tricky with insurance, but I know sometimes it can be covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another question, you mentioned Ben Folds at the beginning. Have you noticed any specific music therapy techniques used in his music or popular music in general?
Oh, absolutely. Well, improvisation, he does a lot. I actually just saw Ben Folds at the, oh gosh, what's it called? The park right by Grays Lake. I'm forgetting.
The Waterworks Park.
Yes, thank you. They just built the amphitheater, and
Yes,
he came last August, and I went to watch him, and he is an incredible pianist, and he plays so well, but he's also able to improvise on the piano and get the crowd involved. He does that a lot, where he'll play a little bit, and he'll sing, and then he'll have the audience echo him. So it's a very involved kind of concert. Not only is he a wonderful musician and very talented, but he also gets his crowd involved. So he uses improv and songwriting all the time in his work, which I think is a huge nod to music therapy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I'll put our own plug in. We have our Elevate Festival there at the Lordson Amphitheater at Waterworks Park. We did it for the first time last year there, and then we'll be back on October 11th. So shameful, easy plug for that event. But it's a beautiful place to watch. I'm sure to watch music because it was a wonderful fit for our plan.
Maybe we should have our maybe we should have the Above and Beyond Cancer Survivorship Choir do its first performance at the festival.
That sounds great to me.
That does sound great. Dick, I think we know a couple of people that could help lead that. Courtney, I don't see any other questions.
Okay, great. Once again, thank you. It was a huge honor to speak with you all this evening.
Courtney, thank you so much. I look forward to working with you and coming up with some collaborations as we move forward.
We sure appreciate you joining us, and it was very enlightening, so thank you.
Great. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. I am right now in the car, zooming down 235, so I'm going to sign off.
Okay. Feel free to tune in to join us next week. I'm trying to look to see. Oh yeah, Dr. Valerie Stratton is our speaker next week. So hopefully you can join us then. All right. Thanks everyone. Take care. Thanks again, Courtney.